What is your full name?
My full name is Nicola Clara Desiree Jürgensen Jakobsen, which is actually pretty weird for a German, but I have three surnames and I have two last names because I am married and I decided to take also the name of my husband.
Where are you from?
I am from Hamburg, originally, which is a town in northern Germany, most beautiful town in the world, actually. And but I was born in Bangkok, so my parents used to work there for a couple of years, and I was born there, and also was my sister. So I had two passports until the age of 18, and then I had to give one back. And apparently, the German passport makes more sense for me.
Interesting. How did you come to the clarinet?
I started the clarinet merely out of coincidence because my parents loved music, but they were not professionals. And we had a piano in the house, and so from the age of 4, I would, from this perspective, start to play the piano, and then they looked for a teacher for me. I started piano lessons when I was 5 years old. And I mean, I never practiced, basically. But I loved music, and I was also trying composing little things and little stuff. But as a pianist, until you're really good, you're always alone. And so once I was 9 or 10 years old, a family friend said, well, if she learns a second instrument to play with others in an orchestra, clarinet would be nice. And my parents were like, yeah, clarinet, okay, let's get her a clarinet teacher. So it was total coincidence, and strangely enough, I find that somehow the clarinet found me, because I think it is a very good way for myself to express myself. Like I love singing, and I took singing lessons for a while, but clarinet is also very singing and a very warm and melodic instrument. So it works really well for me. But I kept on playing the piano until I was a student. I was doing both instruments professionally, and I still play piano, as you can see behind me, to this date. It is of course not very good, but I'm always making a point of also playing the orchestra excerpts with my students. I accompany them on the piano, and when my daughter sings, I accompany her, and it's just a good way to interact in another musical way than just with the clarinet.
What is never missing in your clarinet case?
A spare mouthpiece. Because I had this one traumatic accident when I was still in the orchestra, in the WDR Orchestra. We had one night we had a concert with Bartók Concerto for Orchestra, and before that Glazunov Violin Concerto with Hilary Hahn. And I smashed my mouthpiece like 5 minutes before going on stage. It fell down. I wanted to clean it, and it fell down right in front of the sink on the floor. That was really hard in backstage in the Cologne Phil. And like a piece, like a nail the size of my little nail, just broke out of it. And I was panicking so much, and I didn't have a second mouthpiece at that time. So I had to go to the woodwind's dressing room and say like, help, colleagues. And somebody got a key, opened a locker of one of my other colleagues who wasn't playing that night. And I opened the locker and took out any mouthpiece, and I took any reed and went out and played Concerto for Orchestra. And that was, it kind of worked. I never listened to the recording afterwards, but it was so traumatic that I always have at least one spare mouthpiece with me. And I also recommend that to my students, because we have like cases with reeds. We have 20 or 40 reeds on us, but if we don't have a second mouthpiece, we cannot go on stage.
Okay, any advice that someone gave you and changed your life?
I think it is not just one piece of advice that shapes you as a person and as an artist. And it is never just one line I can remember that I think changed my life. But there are a couple lines that I still have in my head from my first real clarinet teacher, Hans Deinzer, who used to be an amazing personality, an amazing artist, and of course a great teacher who has seen many famous people, or has seen many clarinet players to fame, such as Sabine Meyer, Wolfgang Meyer, Rainer Wehle, Martin Spangenberg, Johannes Peitz, Martin Fröst, all those. And he used to say something that I cherish still very much, and that I sometimes say to my students, or also think of when I'm going on stage myself. And he said, mit Angst kann man keine Musik machen. You cannot make music with fear. You cannot make music when you're afraid. That's the translation. And I find that it's simple but so true, because of course we want to make things right, and we want to be perfect. We are trained to be perfect, especially in these days when there is cameras everywhere, microphones everywhere. Everything is on YouTube forever, and you can get really afraid when you think about it, that it's got to be there forever, and everybody can see you mess up and can see your little flaws. And still, when we go out there and play, we should be musicians. It should be something that we do from our heart. It should be something that we give from our heart and soul to other people. And if we're afraid, we limit ourselves. We become tense, and we are not able to give our everything. And after all, making music is going on stage and sharing emotions and connecting with the audience. So, mit Angst kann man keine Musik machen. And if you're afraid, you cannot make music, and then you don't need to go on stage, basically, because it's beside the point.